Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this podcast. Today, we're going to have, I believe, a very interesting conversation with the chairman of the Motorhome Club of South Africa, Willie van Heusden.
Dennis, yes, it's a privilege to be on your podcast, and I hope we can have a fruitful discussion.
Yes, I'm sure it will be. It will be fun. So, Willie, just introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us what is your role at the Motorhome Club, and how long have you been a member?
Yes, Dennis. At this stage, I'm the national chairman of the Motorhome Club of South Africa. We've around about 850 paid-up members, and we divided into 7 regions. Started about 40 years ago by a small group of like-minded motorhomers, and fortunately from that group we still have one active member, Mr. Jim Williams of Northfall, and he was the first secretary of the club and also at a later stage chairman. The club consists of the 7 regions, which Northfall is the largest region, but it started off with Transvaal and the Cape, and then Natal came as the 3rd region, and next weekend they're having their 30th anniversary rally.
Oh,
so
wow. Nice.
we're having our 40th anniversary rally in October, and it will be at the Gariep Dam, and we expect about 140 motorhomers. Unfortunately, that's the maximum space we can get there. But being central in South Africa, it would be the 2nd national rally there. We also had one 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. So that's 140 motorhomes on one rally. That's quite something.
Yes, 4 years ago, we managed 102 motorhomers. And we also have a Northern Conversion Rally every 4th year, which is the Northern one having Northfall, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal and the Free State. And then we also have a Southern Conference Rally, which consists of Western Cape, Garden Route and Eastern Cape. And then alternatively, every 4th year we have the National Rally. And the previous one was also at Gariep.
Okay, that sounds great. So you've given us quite a bit of detail there, which is nice. So you say what region or region do you belong to?
I belong to the Free State region. We were formed just a bit more than 5 years ago. We actually had our 5-year anniversary last year during September. And we were 10 starting founder members for the Free State region. According to the Constitution, there were quite a lot of rules to start the new region. But as complying with that, I then became the first chairman of the Free State region. And that I did for 4 years until I became the national chairman.
Okay, wow, great. So 7 regions at the moment. And so if the Free State only started 5 years ago, can I assume that's the latest region to join?
Yes, that is the baby region. We are 60 members at this stage, and obviously the smallest region. But we're not far behind our Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal, and then Garden Route numbers. The largest regions being Northfall and Western Cape. Northfall, which is in the 40% of the total membership, and then about 60% of that number are Western Cape members. So that's the 2 largest regions in South Africa.
But that would make sense, because that's where the big metropolitan areas are.
That's correct, Dennis.
Yeah. All right. So when people want to join the club, what would you tell them? What would be the advantages of joining the club? The club mainly exists for, I believe, social reasons, getting like-minded people together. So what would you tell somebody would be an advantage of joining the Motorhome Club of South Africa?
Well, Dennis, once you have a motorhome, and the definition of a motorhome, as you quite rightly know, building them, you do need a kitchen area as well as a full bathroom. and it must be a purposely built vehicle up to a high standard. And that was in the first minutes of the formation of the club. Especially mentioned that the motorhome should be something special. So once you've got your motorhome, we have many members who travel around, and we ask them to please join the rallies, because it's at the rallies you meet like-minded people, and it's a social place. And being a member of one region doesn't exclude you of joining rallies of any other region. And we actually asked the members to please join other rallies in other regions. So if you're, for instance, staying in Johannesburg and you travel down to the Cape, look at the rallies, because the dates are all available, and join a rally down there. It's always great to meet new people, new ideas, and make new friends. And my personal experience is I call the Motorhome Club my family away from my own family. So we sort of always... it's with great anticipation that we wait for the next rally to join and to once again see old friends, but also to make new friends. So for the members or people to join, I would really suggest join the clubs and participate, because that's what the whole idea behind the Motorhome Club is. Let's get together, enjoy our motorhomes, meet friends, make lifelong friends, and even if you see them once a year, it feels like old family.
That sounds great. It sounds fantastic. And I think that's what it's about for a motorhome lifestyle as well. It's not just the nomadic lifestyle. It doesn't have to be permanent living. It can be weekends only, but creating this social sphere in your life with like-minded people. And I think I really think it's a great thing. Lots of clubs exist out there. And the motorhome lifestyle gives you a purpose for doing the rallies, social, but you could also be independent and go away without seeing other people.
Yes, Dennis, a lot of our members go touring when it's flower time. They're down in the Cape for quite extended period of time, because being, your petrol and diesel is very expensive. So when you leave for 1,000 odd kilometers in a vehicle which is more heavy than a normal motor car, you must enjoy it and then also get some value back for the money you spent on your petrol and diesel. So we have a lot of members, as I say, they go and tour the garden route when they're from north. When they're from the south, they love to come up to the north and visit the Kruger Park. And so we've got a beautiful country, and with a motorhome, you can access around about 90% of what South Africa offers you.
Yeah. Other advantages for the club, I believe you have a deal with it for insurance. If you are a club member, you get a special deal on insurance.
Yes, Dennis, that is one of the main reasons we do have some members joining, and that is the Garant Group, who subscribes to our assurance, which is most affordable, and we get special service there. It's a pleasure to do business with them, whether you're just a paid-up member to the insurance scheme or whether you have an insurance claim. And they're always there 24/7. They help you with breakdowns, problems when your keys are locked inside, which happened. It happened to one of our Free State members, and I can tell you that is a problem when something goes wrong and the door closes with your keys inside.
Oh, wow, yes. Yeah, everything's inside. Yeah.
So, yes, they help you with the towing of your motorhome, because a motorhome is a bit different than towing a normal motor car. You need a low bed that can accept a motorhome weighing much more and is more unstable, it's longer, it's wider, and they've got the necessary people contacts to rail it. So you just call their 24/7 telephone number and you immediately get a response and help.
Okay, that's great to hear. Yeah, and I think I know it's been many years. I mean, I've been in this industry for 25 odd years, and I remember the Motorhome Club having this arrangement with Garant since then already. So it's a very long-standing relationship.
Yes, definitely, and I foresee that for the future we'll probably stay with them And the reason is their track record. And you stay with somebody you know and gives good service. And I think that's in the motorhome world the same. Dennis, I appreciate the Motorhome World and also for their contribution towards the Motorhome Club of South Africa. Sponsorship with the Motorhome, a quarterly book that we bring out, magazine. It's electronically now. It's much better, easier than the old postal service, which is not working.
Yes.
But what's lovely about it, all the information you need about the different regions, their rallies and their rally reports are in there, and it makes for very nice reading. And that's I think is also another perk of belonging to the club, to have an excellent motorhomer, which I think is something we all look forward to read.
Yeah, I read them, and they are great. They are full of information from the different regions and full of valuable information. Absolutely. I think one thing that people don't always talk about, and I listen to a lot of our customers, and a lot of the advantages of joining the club that we as manufacturer hear from when we sell the motorhomes is the advice that they get on a rally. You get together in the social environment, you have a braai or you have a sundowner, everybody sits together, and a lot of the talk is about advice. About what do I do with a motorhome here? I have this issue, how do I fix it? And that's something that
Dennis,
I
think
believe is
when we
massive.
look, once we look at the rallies as such, the most regions have a rally monthly, with one of the rallies being their yearly year-end party, Christmas rally. But for instance, North-Vaal and Western Cape especially have midweek rallies for more the pensioners or people that's on holiday that can get away to join a midweek rally. And I think that's something that's catching on, is going to grow in numbers. Other regions are also looking at it and doing it. But the regions also have tours. So except for tours usually going to conversions rally or the national rallies, they have tours going, doing areas in their or exploring areas in their region. And I know a couple of my friends who've done regional tours with other regions, and they quite were impressed to do such a type of tour. Getting together at a rally, what's very nice, usually we come together at a Friday evening at the meet and greet. You bring along something to drink, and usually the chairman of that region welcomes everyone, and new members especially. You receive a token for your attendance, which most of the members proudly put on their door or somewhere on the fridge or somewhere in the home, to not just remind you of the number of rallies you've done, but also it's a history of where you've been around. And usually on the Saturday, many of the regions you're at leisure. Other regions organize different types of sport, and some do outdrive somewhere, some do 4x4, and that evening there's usually a communal braai, and then Sunday morning we come together for a short devotion, and thereafter chairman's tea, and then goodbye, wait till we see next time. So it's very sociable. But what I find is that the conversations, it's so wide. It's mainly talking around the motorhome, getting new ideas, experiences from other members, and once you've had something you also advise your fellow members of new ideas, and I think that all makes for a great weekend. And the ladies and the gentlemen, they gather together. It's not grouping of different parties. I know the larger regions is very difficult if you 40 to 50, even 60 motorhomes having a rally, and you count that as double, 80 people to sit in a circle, but at least during the weekend you'll mingle with everyone there.
Yeah, that sounds great. Can anyone, obviously somebody needs to have a motorhome, and like you said, there's a rule for a motorhome in the Constitution. Can anybody join for a first, if they're not a member, like a trial? Can they just let somebody know, say, hey, we would like to join you guys on a rally, but we're not a member? How would that process work?
Well, what we suggest is if you have a motorhome, there's a Facebook page of the Motorhome Club, and contact the necessary area. All the numbers of the chairmen, secretaries are in each motorhome and is available, and join the club because it's really very cheap. The yearly subs has been at the same level for quite a number of years, and the money there spent is well spent. 275 Rand for a year's subscription, and you get your motorhome, you have access to the Garant assurance, and you must be a member of the Motorhome Club to have access to assurance, and all the information you get, and come and join. If you're not a member, come to the rally, and I'm sure that within the first hour you're going to go online and subscribe and become a member.
Wow, yes.
Once you've been there, you stay there.
Yes, that's great. All right, so I will put some details in the description of this podcast, a link to the website. I will put a link to the Facebook page into the description, so the details will be all down in the description. What advice would you give somebody that wants to come for the first time? You just spoke about how to contact the region, but if they now rock up for the weekend, what advice would you tell them? If they want to join for the first time, what should they do? How should they approach?
Dennis, yes. I think the best approach is to go to the regional secretary, contact them, and hear where the rally is exact. They usually, once they arrange the rally, it's usually the job of the secretary, and they know how many rallies or how many motorhomes are attending the rally. Then they book the sites, and if you then contact the secretary and says, "Look, I'm not a member, but I want to come and join. I want to come and attend the rally." They'll accommodate you, and then get all the information beforehand. How late do you usually start, and where is the exact site, and what is the, for instance, camping site, what is the numbers in which you can occupy, which that is pre-booked, and then just pitch up and go and look for the secretary. They'll probably already see he has a new face and come and meet you. Usually the chairman and the committee look around for new members, and that once you're in, you're there.
Great. I believe there is I don't know if it's official or just an unofficial program, but there's a holiday exchange program that I've read about. But I'm quite intrigued about it. I'm not sure how that works, or if it's an official Motorhome Club thing, or is it just something that members organize?
I've just lost that one. What do they call it, you say?
So yes, I believe there's a holiday exchange program that I don't know if it's an official Motorhome Club thing or just something the members organize themselves, but I'm quite intrigued. I'm not sure what it does and what it entails, the holiday exchange program.
Dennis, I know of motorhomers who advertise that they would probably want to go to Netherlands or Germany or the British Islands, and they find someone there with a motorhome, and they offer their motorhome to motorhomes from those countries, and then they exchange their motorhomes. But it's not official by the Motorhome Club of South Africa, but I know of members who have used this way of exchanging their motorhomes for a holiday.
Do you know if it's successful? Is the other members talking positive about it?
Dennis, I've only spoken to 2 members who've done this, and they were highly thrilled and said it's ideally to go to Europe and accept the motorhome there and travel around. Of course, all the necessary assurance things would be in order. The licensing, everything would be ready to drive the motorhome there, and likewise in South Africa. So yes, I think it's something that could be more widely probably advocated and advertised, and I think I will take it back to my committee and see if we can't bring it in officially into the Motorhome Club as a possibility, official sort of exchange idea.
Yeah, I think it's a nice idea, I guess. Then generally, motorhomes in South Africa are relatively expensive. What would you say, is it an achievable lifestyle for everyone out there to be able to have it as a goal, as the motorhome lifestyle?
Dennis, definitely. It's an expensive layout in the beginning, but if you love camping and you have to look at a good towing vehicle and a good caravan, you can start off in the motorhoming fraternity for very much the same amount, probably not new. And once it's bitten you, then you can upgrade to a new motorhome once that points become. I think especially, I know Motorhome-World has a very good second-hand market, and all the people I know that's bought second-hand motorhomes, which was in the line which you've rented out.
The rental fleet, Bobo Campus.
Yeah, and they come back into Motorhome World to then be sold with not very high kilometers, well kept up because you've got proper servicing facilities. So I think to get into the motorhoming world is not that expensive. And once again, although we do find that the camping sites, the prices have increased, which we must expect because everything increases. It's electricity for the sites, it's the labor force, and to keep a camping site or a camp where to the highest standards which we expect as motorhomes cost a lot of money. But still again, it seems to me that you can look between 400 or let's say around about 400, some a bit below 400, some a bit above 400 per night. And if you and that's usually for 4 or 6 people, then there's pensioner rates. And if you go and look at what other accommodation costs for holidaying, that helps a lot to bring the total cost of holidaying down. And if you look at the extra petrol or diesel that you use, I don't think it's that more difficult. It might be, I would say, probably 50%, 60% more than a normal vehicle. But if you look at what the chap's getting on, let's say, a double cab bakkie with a 16-foot caravan, we're talking about in the same average consumption. And as you will know, a large amount of motorhomes tow a little vehicle behind. Most popularly seems at this stage to be the Suzuki Jimny. And the extra consumption is reported to be between 1 and 3 liters per 100 kilometers. So I think it looks like a very expensive experiment on the outset, but once you're there, you actually start saving money.
Yeah, so very much achievable for everybody if you have that initial layout. I mean, I've seen motorhomes available secondhand for 300 to 350. If you're good with DIY and you're good with your own hands, I'm sure you could take on a slightly lower price motorhome and make it a project and then use that for a good number of years after that. So there's also obviously members that are not good with their hands. They will probably go and need to spend a bit more to get something that's usable straight from the start when they've bought it. So yeah, you were talking just now about the bakkie and the caravan, and I've always had, since I've been in this industry, the calculation of buying a medium-sized vehicle and a medium-sized caravan. If you take those prices and you add them together, then it's approximately the same price as a motorhome. And that calculation has been correct 25 years ago, and it is still correct today. And yeah, so there is a bit of a balance out there.
Definitely, Dennis. And the other interesting shift is the ownership of motorhomes. Definitely, there are more and more younger people now owning motorhomes and joining in. than 15, 20 years ago. And I think the average age of the motorhome has come down with quite a couple of years. Probably 20, 25 years ago, the motorhome group were more the elder people, more relaxed. They just want to tour around. A lot of them still under European influence. But I think the South African climate, because it's a camping paradise, have now started intriguing the younger people. So as such, we see more and more of the younger generation buying motorhomes and enjoying it.
Okay, so would that also mean more camper vans instead of full motorhomes? Or is it still your full, as we call, semi-integral motorhomes? Or do you see camper vans where there's the panel van converted? Is that something that there is a trend on that?
If I look at what I observe, there is probably a bit more camper vans, but it's more the do-it-yourself type of person who buys a van and then converts it. But in general, I think the motorhome as such is still the number one, and I think that's a majority, and I think the majority of people are still going for a motorhome.
Yes, yeah. There is the convenience of the size, of course. It makes everything a lot more convenient than a camper van, which is quite compact.
I agree there.
What do you enjoy the most out of the motorhome lifestyle? What is your biggest takeaway, your biggest enjoyment from this lifestyle?
Well, first, it's easy to use. You pitch up, you can sort of, if the stand is level, it's within 10 minutes you rolled out your awning, took out your seats, just have a beer or a coffee, whatever you are, your taste is at that stage, greet all your friends, and then we come to the camaraderie. I think the motorhomer, whether you belong to what reason, if you two motorhomes come together, they've got a lot to chat about. And as I said, you make new friends, you make lifelong friends, and at a certain stage, you sort of wish it is a weekend to camp to see your friends.
Yes, absolutely. Willie, thank you very much for your time. I think people will find this conversation very interesting. Like I said, there will be lots of details of contact details for the Motorhome Club of South Africa down below in the description. Thank you for your time. I hope one day we can meet each other and then join on a campsite with a beer together. That would be nice.
Dennis, yes, thank you very much for the opportunity once again. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and to my motorhoming fraternity. Keep up the good work, the high spirit, and the friendship.
Excellent. Thank you, Willie. Go well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.